Not to be confused with Virginia's capital city, Richmond County is located in eastern Virginia, on the Northern Neck. Best known for expansive row crop farms, it is also home to fine nurseries and traditional and hydroponic vegetable operations.
The south side of the county is bounded by the Rappahannock River. Randy Packett raises corn and soybeans along the edge of the Rappahannock River Valley.
If you can see the drop in elevation and maybe the river, that's the Rappahannock River Valley. We're standing on the shoreline of the ancient Rappahannock River. And in the distance is a rise, that is the other shore, so you can see how wide it was.
This ancient riverbed is fertile land, well suited for agriculture. Adopting soil conservation practices has been vital to preventing erosion from entering the nearby Chesapeake Bay.
When I began 42 years ago, we plowed the land twice a year. Disked it a couple times, field cultivated, and when it rained, a downpour, you could see soil washing off the field. So there was a bunch of movement, and slowly it emerged that no-tilling was working, that the crops were remaining constant, and the yields were, so we're still making money to save time, save soil.
While Randy Packett has focused on conserving soil, Michael Self and his son Mike have navigated economic challenges to sustain their large-scale operation. They raise over 2,000 acres of corn and soybeans on the northeastern side of Richmond County.
If anyone remembers the 80s, that was a real hard time learning experience, high interest rates, crop insurance wasn't what it was. I decided to not borrow any more than I had to. We'll buy a piece of land, get it paid for, and buy the next one. Equipment is fairly modern, but most of my equipment now is probably 10, 12, 15 years old, which in the scheme of things is not that old, but it's paid for. I don't have the high overhead payments. Then we do our own spraying, broadcast and fertilizer, pretty much self-efficient. Try to do good marketing.
Anything that you spend, you have to make sure that you can get the return on it. You know, you can't just say, hey, I'm gonna spend X amount of dollars per acre and I don't know what I'm gonna get. You know, if you're gonna spend $10, you gotta make sure you're gonna make 15. And if not, then it's gonna be very hard to be profitable.
Richmond County farmers also have a rare asset in their backyard, the Eastern Virginia Agricultural Research and Extension Center. One of 11 such centers across Virginia, it has a well-established soybean, wheat, and barley breeding program.
The environment and the climate here is very conducive for grain production. This is primarily a grain production county. There's a lot of soybeans, wheat, and barley grown here in the Northern Neck, corn as well. And what our goal is to produce varieties that are being bred and being grown and tested in the environment similar to where they will be grown at. Those lines that are developed here at the station are then taken and grown not only here in Virginia, but also throughout the mid-Atlantic down into the Delta as well.
While row crops are key to Richmond County's economy, its natural beauty is also attracting new residents.
There are more people moving into the Northern Neck in Richmond County. It's a beautiful rural place to live. I mean, we've got the best of all worlds with the bay and the two rivers, but it creates some challenges. Most of the people that move here are not very familiar with agriculture.
Curtis Packett balances his role as a farmer with his work in agricultural retail, finding joy in sharing Richmond County's farming legacy with newcomers.
You know, I've been lucky enough to have a few landowners ask me what I'm doing, and I tell them, and they're always very receptive.
According to the latest Census of Agriculture, there are 109 farms in Richmond County covering 36,160 acres. The market value of all agricultural products is $27.5 million, and grain crops bring in the lion's share, $22.3 million. Other farm production includes nurseries and greenhouses, vegetables, melons and potatoes, and a few head of livestock. Despite the dominance of crops, there are also multiple nursery operations that sell landscape plants and shrubbery throughout the Northern Neck and into Northern Virginia. On the county's southern end, Scion House Farm is connecting consumers with local produce through both hydroponic and conventional production.
The crops that we grow year-round are cucumbers and lettuce. We actually take a break in the wintertime on tomatoes because we don't have any grow lights. So we grow a 7-variety lettuce mix, which you can see here. As it matures, it's harvested, and then we mix it. That's why it's transplanted in succession here. We harvest 8 rows at a time, and then we'll mix those 8 rows together, and we'll make bulk bags, and we will also make bags for retail.
McKinney also raises sweet corn, potatoes, cantaloupes, watermelons, and mechanically picked green beans outdoors. The farmers of Richmond County share a passion for conserving its natural beauty, agricultural innovation, and strong community connections. Those all pave the way for a vibrant farming future here. For Real Virginia, I'm Elijah Griles.